Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We're watching Star Wars, each of the movies, and talking about them. Usual disclaimer here. There's spoilers for all of the Star Wars stuff. Everything's on the table. I'm Jay.
I'm Sin.
Hello, my name's Alex, and I'm Jay's brother.
Today, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Released in 2005.
On the notes, I just read Revenge of the Sith, Nubby Legs. So I'm not real sure what that note is about, but that's a pretty good one.
It's the full synopsis of this whole movie.
Revenge of the Sith, Nubby Legs. Oh, yeah, we usually start out with us recapping what the movie is about, and I guess that we've already taken care of it. Nubby Legs.
I mean, in the end, that's what it's all about, right? Mm-hmm. Nubby Legs. Like, how quickly can we get to Nubby Legs?
So, first part on our journey to Nubby Legs is there's war between the Republic and the Separatists. And
Hold on, that's totally a Lucas title, name, Nubby Legs. We must get to planet Nubby Legs. Doesn't that sound like a thing?
Mm-hmm,
Nubby Legs.
Does, yeah.
This is my friend Nubby Leg.
But it'd be all smooth. It'd be all smooth and weird looking.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we start our adventure on the journey to Nubby Legs, and there's war between the Republic and the Separatists. And General Grievous, who is part of the Separatist movement, in a surprise move, he has captured Palpatine and has Palpatine on his ship. And Anakin and Obi-Wan are flying to General Grievous's ship. They want to rescue Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
I remember that.
And they don't, and their hair is grown out and looks a little more acceptable at this
They
point.
got the hair did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that's what happened. General Grievous is like the coolest CGI character up to this point, I think.
Yeah, I like Grievous.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool voice.
Uh-huh.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
And he's basically a robot with eyeballs and lungs.
Mm-hmm. And his head looks like Ultron's head. Or I should say Ultron's head looks like Grievous's head.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Old Ben. He wasn't too fazed by him during the battle. Like, he was just like, oh, you have 5 arms. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Like, that would have freaked me out a little bit. Because, Obi-Wan's it's not like they held him as, the greatest swords or, lightsaberman that they have in the whole, gang.
Mm-hmm. And
yet this guy shows up, he's got a bunch of arms. He's like, it's all right. I'm like, that's not how that would have went down. He would have been a little bit nervous.
So Anakin and Obi-Wan and R2-D2, I should note, they're on their way to General Grievous's ship to try to rescue Palpatine. Mm-hmm. They get inside, they find Palpatine, and he's sitting in a chair, and he's got laser handcuffs.
Hold on, stop.
Yes.
He does sit a lot in all these movies.
just sitting in my chair.
I mean, I get it because I feel the same way. I don't want to stand up a lot, but I would say most of his career in the Star Wars lore is sitting.
It's my sitting chair.
Okay, keep going.
Empire Strikes Back. Episode 5. It should be Episode 5, the Emperor's Good Chair. Yeah, they find him sitting comfortably in a chair. And he's like, you have to help me.
I'm kidnapped,
I'm gonna sit here though.
Mm-hmm. And watch.
Mm-hmm. Dooku shows up.
Dookie.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it?
Yours.
Oh, I remember. Anakin, he was getting chummy with the Emperor. But the Jedi City Council, why they
City Council.
they were starting to get kind of suspicious of the Emperor, and they told Anakin, who they knew was becoming chummy with him, to spy on him.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Anakin is all pissed off because he can't be on the city council, and he's all mad about that. He wanted to be on it so bad.
He wanted to vote whether or not they could put a sign up by the highway.
And Obi's like, "You're not old enough, boy."
Also, it is revealed that Amidala Khan, what's her name? Queen Amidala? No, she's not a
Amidala.
queen. No, it's
She's
Padme.
senator.
Yeah, Senator Amidala is got a baby up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pregnant.
She's pregante.
Mm-hmm. And it's Anakin's.
That's right. And he's tired of sneaking around like this. He doesn't care who knows.
It's like we're watching our stories now.
They say Palpatine. Palpatine said, "Do it." And
Do it.
Anakin, "Do it." Anakin killed Dooku. They get back. Yeah, they find out Amidala is pregnant, or at least Anakin does. Palpatine, as he says, "I want Anakin to be on the Jedi Council, on the City Council." They do mention it, but it's not really brought home in the movie, like how big of a deal that is. You can't, like, if you're not on the Jedi Council, you can't just say, "Oh, this other person, they're on the Jedi Council."
Also, but have we been revealed enough what the perks of being on the Jedi Council is? Or are, I mean.
That's a good point.
Like, they're pretty much just sitting around, aren't they? And being all wise.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. You get a chair. Star Wars is all about getting chairs.
You get your sitting chair.
A real good sitting chair.
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
I guess they decide the mission, they decide the direction of the Jedis. Like, you're gonna go here, and you're gonna go to the Sand Igloo. You're gonna go to the Kashyyyk. What is Wookieland?
Yeah, Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk.
Yeah, they make the decisions of what the Jedis are actually going to do.
Yeah.
So the Jedi Council is like, we don't like that. You can sit in this room, but you are not a Jedi Master.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin wants to be a Jedi Master. Real bad.
Real bad.
That's part of what's making him kind of butthurt. His buddy Palpatine's kind of getting in his head too.
Anakin can see the future, and he sees that Padme is going to die during childbirth, and he does not like that one bit. And somehow the Emperor also knows this.
Oh yeah. So Jay and I had this conversation about that. I said, "Do you think that Palpatine, or I guess it should be, what's his bad person's name?"
Darth Sidious.
Darth Sidious, do you think Darth Sidious has made Anakin dream the things he dreams so that he will take action in the way he does to turn to the dark side? Or do you think Anakin just saw the future and was making those actions on his own accord? Let's discuss.
That's kind of weird. It would be kind of almost like he could have created it, but then it actually happened, so he might have actually seen what happened. So you're kind of in a weird loop there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he didn't create it, but I think he maybe either also saw that future, because we do see in other movies that he has the gift of foresight. Another possibility is just simply that the Palpatine had, spies or droids or whatever, just watching them and listening to their conversations. Who knows?
Palpatine sounds like kind of almost like it's the name of a orange juice beverage. I'm going to have me a glass of Palpatine. I'll stir it up real good. Comes in a powder at first.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Or it's like it's the drink beverage your friend gives you. Have some Palpatine from a pal.
It's real good.
Don't need a whole lot, just half a glass.
Half a glass of your friend drink Palpatine.
So yeah, Anakin and Palpatine, they're hanging out a lot.
Pay Palpatine.
The Jedi Council actually asked. Wait, what'd you say?
Hey, Palpatine.
Oh, hey, Palpatine.
We need to make up a Jeopardy crossover question about that.
Yeah, before and
answer.
after.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate those. Those are so hard.
But that would
I
be
never
such
get
a
those.
funny one.
And a kindred spirits.
The online way to pay for your Jedi's lightsaber. Pay Palpatine?
Yeah. Anyway, the Jedi Council, they asked Anakin to keep an eye on Palpatine. Palpatine and Anakin, they have a real romantic date at the opera.
Yeah. Which is Jay's favorite scene
It is one of my favorite scenes.
out of many of the movies.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever they go to the bubble opera,
It's pretty cool.
they're sitting there, and that's whenever
They hold hands.
they hold hands, they look into each other's eyes and tell each other the truth about how they feel, and and that's also where Palpatine he makes it sound like he's talking about Darth Plagueis and Darth Plagueis' apprentice as a legend that happened a long time ago that nobody knows about. But of course, we know it's him. He's talking about himself killing his master, Darth Plagueis.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend.
Which is the movie I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the stuff I want to see. This is also where he starts putting the idea into Anakin's head that, hey, if you learn the dark side of the Force, you'll be able to save Padme from death.
Which, by the way, it's just like on Alien. Like this woman, Padme, is like, you don't have to do anything. I'm going to be fine. We just need to move out to the country. He's like, no, we're going to do what I want to do. And then what happens? Everybody dies. And he gets Nubby Legs. And he just listened to her.
Yeah.
It'd been fine. Just like on Alien. If they would have just listened to Ripley, everything would have been all right. But they didn't. The end.
So along the way, Anakin also finds out some information about General Grievous. The Jedi Council decides to send Obi-Wan to, I can't remember what the planet is called. And they're like, you need to go there and ride a lizard.
Oh, yeah.
Go ride that lizard.
The thing that makes that crazy noise.
Yeah, Obi-Wan finds General Grievous.
That's when he brings out all the arms, swords,
Yeah,
sabers.
yeah.
I made noises.
Alex just showed us in the video call his General Grievous swinging his lightsabers around.
You're welcome.
That fight seems pretty good.
It was pretty good.
And, like, it's way better than I remember it. That's for sure. This whole movie's way better than I remember it. Like, I watched it this time. I was like, all right, I'll forgive this one. This one's all right.
Let's see. So Anakin, while talking to Palpatine, he figures it out. He finds out that Palpatine is a Sith Lord. He goes back to Samuel L. Jackson and says, hey, that guy's a Sith Lord. Samuel L. Jackson says, all right, I'm going to take care of this. And he goes to take down Palpatine.
That's right. That is right.
And so then
Who is, when we get there, he's sitting in a chair.
Yeah, he's sitting in a chair, and this scene is great for so many reasons. One, it's it's a really big moment in the Star Wars plot, but also I love it because Samuel L. Jackson enters the room with two other unnamed Jedis who are the worst Jedis in the history of anything. They're so terrible. I could have been a better Jedi in that situation because Palpatine, he's like, hang on, let me get out of my chair. and then he just goes, stab, stab, kills them both. And they don't even do anything. They don't block, they don't move or anything. They're just like, I didn't expect a stab.
Even though I was on the council.
Mm-hmm. So Samuel L. Jackson, he's battling it out, and he's doing a good job against Mr. Palpatine. Anakin shows up and says, wait a minute. Palpatine's doing his Force lightning against Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson, and it's bouncing back on him and melting himself.
Oh, yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's arm gets cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody always loses a body part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Yoda. He got all his parts.
Anakin cuts off Samuel L. Jackson's arm, and Palpatine's able to throw Samuel L. Jackson out the window.
Windu out the window.
Out the window.
Out the window.
His face, Palpatine's face is pretty wicked there too. Like the transformation, he's like, ah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just mimicked it for the listeners.
So what I don't understand right here is like Palpatine, he is just crazy looking, like Alex said. He is lumpy as hell. His skin has changed color. His eyes are glowing. And he is just like totally cool about everything. And I'm wondering if it's maybe, he just hasn't seen himself. He just doesn't know it yet, and he can't feel it. Like, or maybe the dark side of the Force is like really flowing through him and it feels real good. And he's like, oh, that's that good dark side. That's better than cocaine. Feeling good. Well, I can see my forehead if I look up, but let's not worry about that.
Anakin does kind of go, he's not with it. Like he's in a trance-like state almost.
Yeah. Yep.
So maybe they both kind of, I don't know.
I guess the wanting the power and all that, it just supersedes any sort of like, oh, I got a wrinkle. I'm going to worry about that. You don't really worry about that.
Yeah, so that's whenever that's when Palpatine calls up all the clones and he says, execute Order 66, and they kill all the Jedis. That's when Obi-Wan falls in the water.
Yeah, and so they show all the scenes of the random Jedis getting killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of them get killed. Very few get away.
But Grogu got away.
Yeah, Yoda got away. He went
and
to
like you said, Obi-Wan, he fell in the pond.
Mm-hmm.
Yoda tries to go kill the Emperor himself, and he fails.
Mm-hmm. Is that when he's bouncing off the walls?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's so little, it's so funny.
Mm-hmm. And so he goes and hides on Dagobah.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's his plan.
Gets even wackier.
Obi-Wan stows away on a spaceship with Padme.
Why is Padme's going to go to the why is Anakin in the volcano land?
Yeah, Anakin's in the volcano land because Palpatine had told Anakin to go kill all the Jedis in the temple, which means kill a bunch of younglings as well. And then the Emperor tells Anakin, now you need to go to Mustafar and kill the separatist leaders. So, and Mustafar is the volcano land.
I have a note here. I wrote, do you think that the Emperor dubbed Anakin as Darth Vader? Do you think he was staying up all night kind of bouncing around names for him, or was that just like
it just came to him in the moment?
It just came to him. Darth Vader.
Okay. Let me see what you think about this one.
David. Darth David. Nope. Nope, not that one.
Deleted scenes.
Darth Keith. Nope.
And that point also, like, Anakin becomes Darth Vader, but really that's whenever the Emperor, that's where he becomes Grandpa Galaxy. I'm everybody's grandpa now. Mm-hmm. We're almost to Nubby Legs.
All right.
Yeah, so Padme and Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're all on Mustafar. And it's totally out now that Anakin has moved over to the dark side of the Force, and Obi-Wan and Anakin, they fight it out.
Oh, let's talk about when he shows up wearing all black, and I was like, oh, right there, that's what it is. Remember?
Yeah. So you noticed this right away in Episode 3. Anakin's wearing black the whole movie.
Yeah, and he hadn't done that before. He was still wearing his like brown robes, brownie tan shit, and then he shows up in this movie. He's like, all right, here I am. I'm dressing. You know, they tell you. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So.
Walk tall.
That's right.
Tall. That's really funny. Obi-Wan and Anakin, they fight it out. Obi-Wan wins and cuts off Anakin's remaining limbs.
Oh, my legs.
Yeah, he like Anakin jumps and he cuts off his legs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good scene, isn't it?
It is. And Alex put in the note here, and I totally agree. Whenever Obi-Wan yells out, "We were like brothers, Annie," that was really good acting.
It was good. Because all they were seeing all around was a bunch of green crap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
Yeah, that one is really good. The inflection in his voice, it's like real heartfelt. I mean, by that moment, you're like in this movie. Like it's the only one that it's not like, this is so stupid. Like I really liked it.
Yeah. I think the CGI is actually really good of Anakin burning alive.
Did you see where Frodo and Sam floated by in the background?
Yeah, funny little crossover there.
They're finishing their movie too.
The Emperor, he goes to get Anakin, who has been very, very badly burned and lost all his limbs. He's just got one robot arm, and takes him back to wherever and rebuilds him as Darth Vader as we know him now. Mm-hmm. And then we also get to see that Padme does deliver the baby, which we find out at this point was twins, which we already knew, Luke and Leia, and she dies in childbirth, just as Anakin foresaw.
And then they decide where the babies go, and they're like, you go to the sand planet, and then you're going to go live in the really pretty Alderaan.
Yeah. Yeah, one gets to be a princess on a beautiful planet, and Luke gets a sand igloo.
Yeah.
And that's whenever we also find out about Yoda says, "Hey, Obi-Wan."
Oh, that's
Qui-Gon has figured out how to talk to, and it's like Qui-Gon is the one who figured out how to become a blue ghost after you die.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And on that one, there's no like ceremonial end, right?
Not for the good guys. It's the last scene that we see is Darth Vader and the Emperor looking out the window of one of the Imperial battlecruisers, and they're looking at the very first startings of the construction of the Death Star.
Ew.
No.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Right. Yeah. So there we go. And you had the question of Obi-Wan after that point, he goes by Ben Kenobi. Mm-hmm. And we'd never heard that before.
Yeah.
Like
Old Ben? And he
Yeah.
says in Star Wars.
And I guess maybe it was just to try to keep himself a little bit hidden, but it's still Kenobi. It's like,
Not very good at hiding.
yeah.
And he wore the same shit. So there's all these weird names. And then there's Ben and Luke. Like it's a fucking Dukes of Hazzard up in there. You know? Like they have all these crazy names and then that.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up with that? It's not like before he became the Emperor, he was Daryl. What was your favorite part of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith?
I mean, probably that volcano scene.
Mm-hmm. The volcano scene.
Mine was the bubble opera.
So yeah, someone on TikTok was saying like, "Oh, I've never watched all the Star Wars movies," and so she says, "As everyone said, watch them in the order in which they were released." And I just totally disagree with it because I don't think you can understand all the political chess playing that's going on to make it all happen.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest surprises that I found from seeing what she was saying is, you know, she started for the episode 4, and at the end of episode 6, you see the ghost of Anakin Skywalker as played by Hayden Christensen. And she was like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah, why'd you do that? Why'd you change that part?
But also, like, if you watch it, you don't understand. If you watch it in that order, you don't understand who that is.
Yeah. Well, I think that makes sense that it is Hayden Christensen because I think what they're saying is it's only the light side of the Force that can do that. So essentially, Darth Vader couldn't do that. Mm-hmm. It was only the Anakin Skywalker side that could do that.
But he came back to the light though.
That's right. Yeah.
Remember?
And like, yeah. And so why would you get to choose? Like, because if that were true, like, would Ben show up younger? Does he show up younger in the new one? In the new old one? Okay.
No.
So it's like, you get to be old and wrinkly, but you get to be in your 20s.
I don't, you know, maybe Obi-Wan was like cool that he's like, "Oh, I am a silver fox."
But anyway, for all the fans out there that were saying to this person watching, like, saying you have to watch them in order of release is just saying that because you like those movies better. It doesn't mean that it's the better way to watch them. It's like, sure, I like the production value of them better too, but that doesn't help me understand the movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it totally makes the most sense to go episode 1, just straight up like chronological order. There's no time travel or anything in Star Wars, so it's easy to follow in that sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big deal to figure out that Anakin was his dad, though. Like, that was a twist at the time.
That's
and
true.
It won't be a twist anymore. Like, oh, I knew that.
That's true. Yeah, if you have no insight into the movies whatsoever, that is a loss there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have seen videos of like young people today, and like, you know, their parents are filming them watching that moment, and they're like, "That's his dad." It's like, wow, I thought everybody knew that. So yeah, I guess there's pros and cons both ways.
No. I mean, that plot twist is pretty awesome, but I don't think it's worth not understanding what the fuck's going on in the movies.
And I guess the other nice thing is if you watch episodes 1 through 3, you know, or the prequel first, and then just keep moving up in chronological order, essentially the movies, they get a lot better after that. You know, you might have like a weird middle point where it's like, oh, these movies are weird.
Because that's how we had experience.
Yeah.
I just thought something else too. I mean, maybe it's a plot twist for the viewer to be like, oh, that was his father. But I think the emotional point of it is Luke finding out it's his father. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's the pinnacle moment. It wasn't for the audience to be shocked. It was that Luke felt that conflict. I think is the bigger point.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it matters.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Maybe we felt it with him.
This is true too.
And another thing also is there's actually a really good YouTube video where somebody kind of edited in some sounds from the prequels into A New Hope, where in the scene where Obi-Wan is talking to Luke about Anakin in like a fond memory sort of way, like your father was one of my best friends. And I think seeing that scene and knowing what really happened to Anakin brings that performance a lot more depth to it, a lot more emotion than the first time I ever watched it.
Yeah. Oh, so what are we watching next?
Is it Solo?
Solo.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one.
The movie's starting to get good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Got some good acting in it. Oh yeah.
Well, how would you rate Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith?
5 out of 5, baby.
Awkward like the other prequels. 5 out of 5, baby.
I mean, the thing is I almost feel like starting with Solo, I would give them all 5s. So for this one, I'd give it a 4. Give the other ones 2s.
2s because they tried hard.
That's right.
Gave them a try point, an extra try point.
All right, well, catch us next time as we talk about Solo, a Star Wars story. Very exciting because it's our first non-prequel Star Wars film.
I'm glad we were all together.
Alex, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Sin, thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.